It's an absolutely massive portion. Hey friends, I hope your week is off to a great start. Today we're going to be making a Nutritarian pasta pesto with zucchini noodles. So a lot of you have really been enjoying these healthier recipes lately, and I appreciate that because it lets me film my dinner preparation and then I can edit it into a video for you all to enjoy later in the week. So if you want to see more of these healthy videos, let me know in the comments down below and I'll keep this type of content coming. Without any further ado, let's get right into this. We're going to be making the pesto sauce in the blender today. So to get started, I'm going to add in my pine nuts, along with a bunch of whole raw garlic, some nutritional yeast. This will take the place of the Parmesan that's usually in pesto. A few tablespoons of lemon juice for acidity. And this is an oil-free pesto, which is really unusual. The way we're thickening it is by using avocado. I've got a ripe avocado here, and we're going to use the whole thing. So we'll just spoon this into the blender, and I'll just pour in some water to help things get moved around. The final ingredient here is basil. However, basil bruises pretty easily, and we've got a lot of things in here that we need to blend until smooth. So I'm going to blend all of this in advance to give it a head start, and that way we only have to blend briefly just to get the basil broken down. All right. And you can see the texture here is super thick. So we may need to add a little bit more water to thin this down once we get that basil in there, but we'll play it by ear. So I'm going to take this basil, and it's been washed, that's why it's wet. I'm just going to kind of rip this up into smaller pieces and drop it all in the jug of the blender. And then we'll blend this till smooth. It is super rich and creamy. You'll notice the color obviously here is a little bit different since we had the creamy avocado and the pine nuts in here. It's more of this creamy green color rather than the bright green that basil typically is. However, the flavor is going to be just as good. And I'm going to quickly season this up with just a little bit of black pepper. And we'll give this a quick pulse just to get that mixed through. Perfect, so now we're ready to make the zucchini noodles. To make the zoodles, you're going to need some sort of spiralizer. So I've got this big countertop version here. I've got it linked in my description box down below. I do quite like this. The downside obviously is that it's massive. I've seen smaller ones that are kind of handheld and you just crank the zucchini through like a pencil sharpener. I don't know how they work, but I'm sure there are a bunch of options on Amazon that you could look at. To get started, I've got my zucchini trimmed up on the ends just to square it up. And then we're going to pop it on here and we'll just crank it through. And every few cranks, I like to stop and cut the zoodles using a clean pair of kitchen shears. This just makes it a little bit more manageable to eat the finished dish. There comes a point when you can't really turn the crank any longer. And so that's when you have to stop and kind of pull the little nub off. And you've got this silly zucchini core. And I like to eat this as a snack while I'm finishing making dinner. And then we'll repeat that entire process with our second zucchini. And as easy as that, we've got all our zoodles ready. So I transferred the zoodles into a large mixing bowl just to make it a little bit easier to toss with the pesto sauce. This is how much zoodles I'll eat in one sitting for a meal. However, this is about 2 to 3 servings of sauce. So don't use all of this on the bowl. It's going to be way too much. And similarly, if you don't want to eat this many zoodles, don't dress them until you're ready to eat them because it will start to pull the moisture out of the zucchini and it'll get a little bit slimy and unpleasant. So I'm going to pour on about a half cup of our pesto sauce. And then using some tongs, I'm just going to toss this around. Boy, the garlic smell is incredible. All right, perfect. And with this all evenly mixed together, we can add in the finishing touches. So I've got a bunch of cherry tomatoes here. And then I am using real feta cheese. I just love feta. It's one of my favorite cheeses. If you wanted to keep this fully nutritarian and vegan, more nutritional yeast in here would be great. And then we'll toss this together to get it evenly combined. And when it comes to plating, I like to keep it pretty simple. I just dollop it in a big pile in the center of the plate. Then I like to finish with just a little more cracked black pepper. So this is the end result. So you can see it's an absolutely massive portion. So this is going to take me a good while to eat. I am going to eat this over at the dining room table, but I do want to do a quick tasting just so you can all see. It's a little bit challenging to eat because the noodles don't really twirl, but so creamy. It's perfect. If you're not a big garlic fan, you might want to dial it back slightly. It's so light and bright and healthy, and it's just absolutely delicious. So I'm going to go finish this for dinner. Thanks so much to everyone who's been requesting videos. If there's something special you'd like to see, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to take requests. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.